I'm gonna restart. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of My Turn, My Truth. Because when it's your turn, you
tell your truth.
All right, I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Muriel.
Mata.
It's on you now, babe.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I said Mata. That's all I said.
It's your girl Ken. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at m.kennedii. Y'all know and subscribe to me and Mom's YouTube at RiceGirls_official.
And I'm the rice man.
Y'all, I jumped in front. I'm sorry, y'all.
All
I had to go in order.
Ooh, I got the icebreaker today, not Mackenzie. Anyways, so for our icebreaker, we're going to go around the room and I'm going to say new terms or terms that I've heard that I didn't know what they were until I had to look it up. And so I want everybody to go around and say what they think it means.
Yeah, we know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to say the first word is a granola mom or a crunchy mom.
All right, that means she eats granola all day long.
That's your guess? What's your guess?
I think she got bad skin.
I think it's kind of like cringy, like crunchy and cringy. Like they kind of remind me of the same thing.
Mom, what's your guess?
I don't have one now.
Okay. When I first heard it, I kind of thought like, I don't know, like a mean, crunchy, like mean, like a very mean mom, a crunchy mom. So actually, it's a mom.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a mom who is very into health and like natural healing, like
Holistic.
Yeah, that. Or we're gonna very healthy. We make our food at home. We don't go to the grocery store and buy that processed crap.
All that stuff don't work.
We use like essential oils.
Process
Right.
keep you alive longer.
Yeah,
Right.
this girl said that her mom used to make them walk for 20 minutes after they ate dinner.
Right.
Okay, but that's so you can be happy.
Yeah, that's just regular.
I mean,
That was
like a healthy,
an example that she
healthy
used.
lifestyle.
Well, you didn't make us do that.
Like granola mom, when you hurt yourself, you go into their plant of aloe and
Yes,
crack it,
literally.
squeeze it on you from her
Yep.
real
my
aloe
auntie
plant.
does that, but I don't call her granola.
You're not in this
But
new.
Right.
And your auntie probably goes out to eat.
My auntie lives on a farm.
But she's
I'm
not.
not biting nothing.
She's not. Auntie Dom is not granola.
She does.
No,
It's
she's
amazing.
not.
She's not granola.
I'm just saying, but she got aloe and she put it on her stuff, and she's
I do that.
Hey, look, my designer Casey at work.
She's
Is a granola
granola mom. Yes, I
She
know.
knows
Casey,
the
and how
calorie
granola is.
intake.
Oh,
Yes.
If it's organic,
There
if
you
it's
go.
Yes.
So can
yard,
I be just
something
an
fed.
ingredient reader?
Yeah,
Huh.
girl.
Can you just say that it's an ingredient reader?
Yes, I was saying it. Yes, I would say that, but
Yes.
I'm not.
You
I
know
didn't
what?
coin the term granola mom or crunchy mom.
Being one of her kids, being her kid's teacher, she's a
Yeah.
granola mom. She's a granola mom for sure.
So I assume that you can be a granola dad if you can be a granola mom.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
I was gonna say a lot of
I'm
times too,
equal.
a granola mom will homeschool their kids and
Yeah.
like raise chickens.
I don't think a man gonna want nobody to call them a granola
That's
dad.
it.
Exactly. Ain't nobody gonna
So
want
basically,
nobody to call them
saying
a
Casey's kids lunchbox suck.
No, I'm not saying that
They probably
because
think
Yeah.
it's the best.
Now
I was gonna say
listen,
they don't know any other.
nobody wants anything.
So Casey's kids straight out their snacks.
No, but Casey can't really cook.
But what were we talking about? She eat dates or whatever?
Yes,
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
there you go.
Yeah.
Next.
My mother.
I might be a granola.
Oh, wait, I want to hear this part.
Oh, my mother-in-law is.
No.
Not
Mine,
you.
no, she's not. No, she's not.
My mother is.
Burgers out the box. Lowest burgers out the box.
Hey, if you're a crunchy mom, you can.
Mackenzie said we eat Bubba's burgers out the box.
My mother is.
She make homemade hamburgers, but we eat
I
ramen
just
noodles,
repeated
hot
what you
pockets.
said, and I did my mother.
Right.
We know what you mean.
My mother is.
You know what?
It's crunchy.
Bar,
She's a granola
yeah,
mother.
she is.
She's
I
crunchy.
definitely see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
she climbed trees.
Like some ice, some Sonic ice.
She did front flips in the yard.
Yes, can be. I'm talking about Chick-fil-A ice.
She makes her own granola.
Well, there you go, granola mom. She makes her own
You
granola.
got a big tree.
And a whole bunch of
Okay. So the
Shout out
next,
to all the granola bars. Yes.
the next
So what's the
term
next one?
is a beige flag. Like you have a green flag and you have a red flag.
So it's like when somebody asks you, what's your beige flag?
Yes, like what's your beige flag?
That would probably mean
That also means gay.
Dirty.
To me, it also means gay. That just sounds feminine.
It just sounds dirty.
It just sounds.
Yeah,
I've said.
off-white.
I've said the
I
word.
just was thinking neutral.
I've said the word beige probably like 9 times in my whole life. I don't say that word. That's just me. That's
Beige.
just
You're
It looks like you're
What is your
you're in the
beige
neutral
flag?
zone.
I just know red means stop. Bad. Red flag.
Green
Oh
means
no.
go. Right.
Green
Green
is good.
White means surrender. I'm waving my white flag. Black flag
Rainbow
means
flag
death.
means gay.
Oh my god.
So I guess if somebody said, Marlon, what's your beige flag? I would say something that is,
Like RPT.
something that pisses me off or something.
Oh,
Well, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's a like what you see is a red flag. Like somebody like hitting your wife is a red flag.
Somebody who smokes cigarettes.
A bad cigarette.
All right, so what does it mean? If y'all out there and y'all are watching,
So
comment on what you think. What is your beige flag? What does that mean? And don't look it up. Don't Google it either. Cheaters.
So I would say, based on what I saw, beige flag is like your true self, your awkward self, quirky type of weird. What's one weird thing about you? I guess.
Social anxiety.
Alright, so
Okay,
everybody
that's
say
So I wouldn't say that's not a beige flag.
Oh.
It's like because like that's something that's like negative connotation towards you or whatever. Not like negative,
A
but like
beige
in the
flag
sense
is
of like.
bad.
So it's like a beige flag is like you use only purple cups.
Oh, okay.
You
Oh,
use
my
only
beige
green.
Okay, okay.
My beige flag.
I don't think I have one.
I always use the smallest forks in there. I don't use the big forks.
Yeah, that you do.
Yeah.
I always get the
But
smallest
all
fork
of them
and
the
the
same
smallest
size.
plate. No, some of them are shorter.
I like the big.
I think my beige flag is if you're talking to me and I'm nodding, I haven't said anything in 5 full minutes, I probably do not care what you're talking about.
See, that's just rude.
I would say that might be a red flag. That might be a red flag.
If I continue to nod and look, ooh.
Like my beige.
But I haven't said anything in like 5 whole minutes, probably because I had tapped
But I
out.
have a
I'm
beige.
trying to figure out who playing tonight.
I always put my left sock on first.
Okay, that's like a beige flag.
Like, since I'm left-handed, I feel like left everything first.
And you read from left to right.
Okay,
Now-
so I guess my beige flag would be like I always want things to go in a certain container.
Oh, see, I was just gonna say that.
That ain't because Marla always talk about I always transfer a container into
Quirky.
something else. That is
Like, I like to
quirky.
collect bottles. We think we get
I don't
sodas.
have one.
Okay,
I think you do.
I'll go.
I bathe the same way every time. I start on the same
That's
body
a-
part and I work
That is a
myself.
beige flag.
That's a beige flag.
Okay,
It's the same way
I do that
every
too, but
time.
I want to think of one.
Okay, I'll go. So I have a beige flag, and this is gonna be so weird. If there's like water bottles or bottled drinks, the ones that have the plastic wrapper, I'm fine touching, like Sprite or anything. But if you get a water bottle that's like great value and it's like the paper, not the plastic type of wrapper, I won't touch it. I don't want it touching me. Like I have like sensitivity to that. I
That
don't.
means you're normal.
I'm not. I can't think of none. And I probably got a million of them.
What would you guys say my beige flags
Yeah,
is?
you do.
One of your beige flags, I feel like
Yeah, say beige flag.
one
about
of your beige
everybody else.
flags is you. If you go to a store, you will buy the most expensive version of something. Like you would, if it's honey, she'll buy the most expensive honey. If it's bread, she'll buy the most expensive
That's
bread.
a crunchy granola, mom.
But some people feel like the price is an indication of quality. And if it costs a lot, it must be
Now,
good.
sometimes it does. Sometimes that's not true. But
I guess that's the only thing I noticed. Like that.
Okay, Mom, did you figure one out or are we
No.
skipping?
Like we would
You're
get
skipping me.
farm-fed almond nutter butter peanut
that is
before we
that's
get
crunchy granola.
before we get just regular
Jif.
Jif. Will we
Yeah, because Casey said
That's
that
crunchy.
free range chicken tastes better than chicken
No.
that have been in a cage.
You don't know that.
Because half of your chicken tastes better.
Because you don't know that.
But, like,
they
for
could
me,
tell you
like,
it was free range
I
and
just-
kept it in a cage its whole life and just say that. You don't know that at all. I'm sorry, Casey, but that's a no for me.
Okay, I still don't have one.
All right, so
Oh, I know one. I always park backwards.
You do.
Yeah.
She back
she
in.
does always
She would
back
rather
in.
back.
And she
Yeah.
has hit the most poles.
No, I think mine was
I hit one
because I think mine
I was
was
with you, and it was bad.
I think I win on that one, Mom.
It was like an American deli.
I think I win on backing in.
But listen, is backing in better?
No.
Do you save steps? Do you save
No,
anything?
it
Do you-
depends.
It's how I want my car.
Okay, I can say a lot of times
That's a good
backing in,
question.
when you back in, you can just pull out. Well, you can just pull out
But
backwards
it's
too.
the same amount of steps because you just pull in.
But nobody said
But
it was for
it's easier when you do pull out because if
You have that
when you pull out, you have a better.
But it's harder
harder
when you pull in because you're backing in.
Not for me because I have a backup camera. I zoom
But it's
in.
still, if listen, just in order of logic, if you come in and pull into a park, but you come in, pass by the park, back into
Yeah,
it.
it is more.
It's either going to be easier on the front end or easier on the back end. But they're going to be
And
the
I choose
same.
the
They're
back
going
end.
to net the same.
But that's
It's
not
easier to
that's
pull
not
out.
the point. The
I think
point
that's why people
is-
do it. It's
right.
easier to pull out.
I feel like
It's easy to pull in when you're pulling into a park, and it's easy to pull out when you back into a park.
Yes.
So that
I'm
makes
just saying you're just exchanging which one is going to be
I
easier.
think-
When,
I get that, but I feel like when you back in and you pull out the park, I feel like that's safer. Not the fact of how long it takes or whatever. I feel like it's safer because you can see the cars coming, you can see the people coming. People be almost the hit folks when they backing out of parks versus pulling out of parks.
We're just going straight with
I
it.
feel
What you call it?
if I tap into like my security, like awareness thing, I'd rather back in so that if something happens, I can just get a car and pull off. If I hit a car, I don't care about hitting a car. I'm so dead and go.
I think.
I'd rather back in. Somebody shooting me. I'd
So
back out.
do the most accidents happen when you're pulling out of a park or backing out of a
I
park?
don't know.
I feel
You
like
have to look
backing
at
out,
the
but
statistics.
yeah.
I feel like that too.
But I feel like more people back in. I mean,
Yeah, more people.
pulling.
No, when people pulling.
I pull through. Like if I see there's two
I
cars,
pull
Now,
through too.
can
I drive
pull
through. Like at the mall, I'll
because I'm
drive
still
in and it looked like I backed in, but I just drove
pull
through.
through.
Now let me say, if you are in a slanted parking lot, please. I hate people who back in a slanted parking lot.
That's the dumbest thing.
It's impossible for the lanes.
You can, but
Yes, you can.
now you make it.
somebody will still do it.
Because of that pass the part. No, that's
No,
not.
because
I do not like
It
that.
makes it harder pulling out and backing in.
Yeah, we got that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one
That's a great
is
question.
G. Okay. Next one is Riz. Okay, I feel like us three know what Riz is.
I know what it is too, because I know what
I know
it
who Riz is. That's Ralph Tresvant from
is. We said who? We said what?
that Rizzo. That Riz.
He's not a what?
Ralph Tresvant from New Edition is Riz.
Okay, I don't feel like this is like
Okay, well then I'm
weird-
gonna say
wait,
it because
I don't
mine might
feel-
be different.
wait,
Mine might
I'm
be
not
wrong.
saying that. I'm just saying I don't feel like this is like a weird new definition type of thing. I
It's
feel
just a
like they
weird
just I feel like they just put another word on a word that was already
So it's charisma.
Yeah, Riz, charisma.
Yeah. Basically it's like you got game.
Riz.
Like when somebody say you got game.
But it's R-I-Z-Z.
Yes.
It's just
Like when guys have game, I guess you know
or woman.
or women, you
It's
got
like- it's
game.
kind of like aura.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Or like your
That's another
your
thing.
vibe.
Yeah,
It sounds like another
point.
Did you
like
know
you
it was
got like
charisma?
a nice vibe or like
No,
you
I
got
had no idea what Riz meant.
Yeah, charisma.
Never heard that
Charisma.
before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Your vibe.
You tell us a story.
Oh, why I gotta lie?
He might be
Oh,
for
you
real.
never. Oh.
He's for real.
I didn't either.
Look at his
until
face,
later.
he's for real. He didn't know what
Okay.
it was. But I just feel like
You're
people
charmed.
just
You're charmed.
yeah, people just made a new word for it.
And
Anyway.
they just shorten it because they didn't want to say charisma.
You know who I think has a lot of Riz?
Who?
The devil.
He does,
He
actually.
sure does. He's very enticing.
I mean, I'm not gonna say
Very
I fall for it.
sweet talk.
But I can,
Yeah,
I can
but-
say to him like he seems very
Riz-
charismatic.
yeah, he'll raise you up.
Like, he gets you to do stuff.
The man said charismatic in an evil way.
Yeah,
Enticing.
He's a person
Enticing.
in the air for a reason.
He's a sweet talker. That's it.
But he's a hoe. So it don't matter.
I want you to go and watch Deliverance.
Yes, y'all have to watch the Deliverance. And y'all should all watch The Forge.
I'm not watching more stuff.
No, it is.
Okay.
Watch it at your house.
Okay, is there another one?
Yes, everybody knows this one.
This is the last one.
Oh, we doing the last
No, we
okay.
don't.
Okay. Chugi.
I'm not even.
I've never heard that word.
I'm not even.
Wait, don't put the sentence.
Even till
If you
today.
put it in the sentence, we'll know.
Chugi. I just
What
know.
is
Chugi.
Chugi.
See, I'll spell it for y'all. CHEUGY. I didn't know this one till today either. I just heard this today.
Oh, you like you. Chugi.
Chugi.
That means you chew your food too much, right? You like
Yeah.
everybody else can swallow.
It's like slimy. Yeah.
You
But that's
still making chewy of it.
Like Jiggy. Jiggy is Jiggy.
Stop that. Chugi. That's Chugi.
That's Jiggy. Wait, let me see.
No, you're Chugi.
You're Jiggy. Use it in a sentence.
No,
I don't know what sentence to use it in. Like, I just heard this word today.
Okay, what is it? What is it?
Yeah, they're still guessing.
I agree with your dad. I don't know.
Did you shoot too much?
That's what it seemed like. Chugi.
I feel like
Like I feel like I'm chewing so much that like I want to vomit.
I feel like
don't know.
Chugi has more of a happier.
Oh,
That's
I'm
how like
not
like
getting that.
Yeah.
Or you too choosy.
I think.
What is that?
Okay.
What
You
is
just
it?
said it with the sound.
Come on, say it. Come on.
He just got that. He said, I think you were saying a word that sounds like
He said choose.
Yeah. That means you look like Chewbacca. The guy who chews.
Okay. So basically, it's things that have gone out of style.
No.
Those pants that she's wearing is so chewy.
Why can't you say that's not it?
Yeah.
Where did they get that from?
Somebody
You don't have
sits in
to.
a room and writes these things down all day and says it on TikTok and
It's
it's
gonna be
trends.
another dictionary with
Yeah, but you gotta wonder where these words come from.
Yes.
Because a word that kills me every time, cattywampus. This lady said the chair is sitting kind of cattywampus.
Nobody's ever heard
What?
that.
That means it's awry, it's askew, it means off kilter, like
Put the camera on
it's
him.
cattywampus.
Put the camera on
This is
him.
my first time ever hearing.
I was gonna say that's a
Put
good one.
the camera.
Y'all have heard the word cattywampus? It's a real word.
Next subject.
It's a little cattywampus.
Like my
Why do
word.
you even know what
My
that
word.
is?
I looked it up.
No, I'm talking about the lady. Why do you
Why
even
would you say that?
The first.
She's probably
It has 4 syllables. It gotta be a way to say
Is she
it.
from around? Is she from this area? Like,
Why does it
like born and raised?
Was it my mom?
Romania.
Was it my mom?
No, white.
No, it wasn't.
I don't feel
My
like my mom would say something like
word.
that.
I think whoever said
She's trying to get out of here.
whoever said the word bamboozle.
Yeah.
Or mind boggled.
Mind boggled.
Just think, there was a first person to say every word. Somebody said it first.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And who was it?
I want to know
Why?
the first person that said
Why? What made them come up with that
What
particular
made them
word?
say that
Peter
word?
McKenzie said he wanted to know the first person that said, what the hell?
that doesn't even make any sense. Like every joke, like if y'all just like the hell.
That means you making no sense at all.
The hell's a place?
Right. And probably the place they want you to be in because you said whatever or did whatever you did.
Yeah. That part.
Y'all heard
It's
Rob
like
Fort-
what part in
Did y'all hear
hell
Rob
did you-
49 song? He was like, what the hell? What the hell are y'all
There was the
saying?
first person that
What the hell
said
you crying?
discombobulate. And just said something
See,
else.
that person not allowed no more. 'Cause that's a threat. If somebody goes and says, I feel discombobulated.
I am baffled.
Yeah.
That word I
Like-
Bizarre.
Lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical. Lackadaisical.
Oh, I
Yeah.
used to get that a lot at my other employer. No Asians all.
But Adam was the worst to ever do it. though.
Yeah, but somebody was the first person that said shenanigans.
Are you looking up?
Scallywag.
Scallywag. Like,
Somebody said they didn't already shenan once and they finna shenanigans.
Oh.
I think that's so
yeah.
What is shenanigans?
They shenan once and they finna shenanigans.
Hey, somebody saw a young person that said, "Oh, whippersnapper." Like, why?
You with this never.
One of y'all black people said, no one knows who the fool is.
I know who he ain't though.
I know
who he ain't though. We don't know who he is, but I know who he ain't.
So
Yeah.
Boo Boo the Fool get a bad rap.
But we all
Nobody want to be
know,
him.
but we all know who Boo Boo the Fool is. We know who he is. If he's in there, we said that's Boo Boo the Fool.
Adam looked in the ocean. God gave him free. That's God's fault. That's not a fault. God, he gave Adam permission there. He looked in the ocean and said, "That is a shrimp." Like,
That is a beluga whale.
That is a
Beluga.
giraffe.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
A hippopotamus.
A
hippopotamus.
That's a manta ray.
A rhinoceros.
alligator.
Like
Man, like,
Okay.
an aardvark.
An aardvark. Yes.
A platypus.
Yeah, a platypus. Somebody said it first.
Y'all. This is my family.
Okay. All right.
This is my family.
All right. I'm going to try to get on the topic now.
Okay.
I'm going to try.
Because we ain't gonna have a lot of
All
time.
right. I'm trying to get on the topic now. All right. Topic for me. Snail. All right. I know we got a lot of Christians on watch, and I know we have, everybody.
Oh, I already know where you going.
If y'all have heard about
I know it.
this Marvin Sapp thing, and I know it's kind of old, but it resurfaced again.
It's not old yet.
All right, Marvin Sapp, while at a convention, the job that he had was to collect money. Now, this was after the offering went and the tithe. So this is a seed offering.
Mm-hmm.
That he petitioned the church that they needed to raise $40,000. So at that time, he petitioned the congregation, the choir, the people in the back, and everyone,
And the people
the
online.
clergy,
The online watchers.
the online, that they need to come up with $40,000. And in the church, there were like, 15,000 people at the church.
Yeah, make a church.
Maybe 1,500.
15,000 online, 2,000 in the
All right, so 4,000
Mega
combined.
church, yes.
So he said, close the doors of the church. Don't let nobody out till we raise this money. Close the doors of the church. Close the doors.
I said close the doors.
I said close the doors. Ushers, close the doors to the church. So the people were in the church like, okay, is he this serious? Like, so he said these people give 100, those people, the clergy give 100, and then online, and even if you have your phone, even if you give it online, come up I need to see you. Come up here and tap your phone on the table.
I need to see it.
And let us see what you pledged. He wanted to. His job was to raise money. Y'all have been to a church where somebody's come up there and their job is to raise money for whatever's going on. And a lot of people were saying it was okay to somebody tested his theory. Walk to the back of the door to the church. And man, nobody gonna make me stay in church. So I'm ready to go. So somebody went back there and the ushers blocked the door. So that was like false imprisonment. That is a crime to keep people somewhere where they
do not want to be.
Don't want to be.
Against their will.
What do y'all think? Do y'all think there's a biblical standard for that, or do you think that that's something that we're used to it because we see pastors and stuff doing that, or bishops or whatever all the time? What do y'all think about that?
God gives us autonomy, and if I don't want to stay, then I don't have to stay.
I love God. I love God.
I do too. Yeah, we do too.
I don't mind as long as He did every now and then.
Correct.
We give offering, but as a Christian who's strong as belief, you would have to beat the 40, the 20, the $100 out of me. That would have made me turn anti-Christian. That fast. If you say a lot as a man, you can. First of all, you're not telling me. Don't tell me what I'm gonna do.
Right.
You'll
Not
tell me.
tapping
Pull out
on the
my money.
phone.
You don't know
Like, you are not
anybody's
gonna look at
financial situation or
Right.
anything. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Mackenzie said last week that
Make me.
yeah.
Okay, so that goes back to
I will give you $40 to
40,000 to make.
I will give you $40,000 to keep me in this church. We're not going to be breaking out the door.
Yeah, because blocking the way that became a whole new thing.
Because you made it so.
I think
It's just authority.
I personally feel like it was very distasteful. I feel like it was wisdom that was honey. I feel like, and I'm not questioning anybody's position or anointing with the Lord. I'm not doing that. But what I will say is that once you say lock the doors and then you give the ushers command, so that's not altar call. That's not a sacred. He called it a sacred moment because I think I saw. No, I read his response. I read his response, and so he did go back into the reasoning and why he asked for a certain amount. Like Marna said, he was tasked to do this. And so he had all of the reasons and why he did what he did. But I feel like you have to also understand how to usher the people into giving. And I don't feel like he ushered the people into giving because the Lord loves a cheerful giver. And at that moment, he turned that whole sanctuary into hostile territory.
You don't want to
Trying to
clash.
force somebody.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Oh, you still
Go ahead. No, I'm done.
Oh, go ahead and read the comments.
I didn't see it. I didn't see one.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, Minister Reed said, you can't seriously think you'll keep me in and under pressure.
Yeah.
No, really.
That's right there.
Under pressure's the worst.
That right there.
You gonna put
Right.
Reese,
This is for you, Reese.
This is for us.
like you gonna make me? I will.
Okay.
I think,
What I
but
said.
I guess in my opinion, God said, "Don't be a begrudging giver. Don't give begrudgingly, because if you have, that means you voided your blessing from giving. Right? It's in vain. So if I don't want to give, but you're gonna shame me."
I was gonna go there.
Shame me into giving. Now, like everybody got to walk up to the front. So if I don't give, everybody gonna look at me and make people think I don't want to give. So you're closing the door. Everybody got to come around. So it's like, okay,
It was very intense.
don't shame me
Yes,
to giving because my giving is in vain.
absolutely.
And
And you come in your corner, but I'm still out $20 because I'm not giving less.
Right, so-
I feel like I was pointed at gunpoint
Right.
in the church.
so why am I giving again?
I just want to say, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Tithes is for the church. You give it 10%. You give your offering. A seed, yeah, I know. I'm saying a seed is a voluntary gift into the people. Normally, into the a seed is to the person, right? To the person. The seed goes to the person,
Yeah,
right?
you want to sow into fertile ground. You want to sow into
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
You sow a seed. Yeah, you sow a seed into
Into
the
the pastor. Okay.
cause or whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. So, I'm also gonna say that I'm assuming that because he had to say close the door so many times that the ushers were looking at him like, huh?
I just feel
Because
he used his authority as a preacher against the crowd, against the audience.
The congregation.
Yeah, the congregation. I hate how he did that because you not God. Like you not. Don't do that because then you'll lose it. And once you lose it, and that pedestal person you are, once you lose that respect and authority.
Because here's the thing. I really know. I really do feel like churches are up under microscope. I really do, and they feel,
For sure.
and you can't make a right or wrong move without it being, all over social media, or there's just this whole big discussion with it. But for this to almost be like, I haven't seen anyone who positively came out outside of Marvin Sapp himself to say you did, and those people who positively came out, what were their positions and titles in the church?
exactly.
What were they?
Pastor, Bishop, Marvin, Apostle, all that.
The people
The people who are also in the same. No, the people who are also in the same position as
They
Marvin.
had it. They had to give.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
She's saying
I could be 1,000 miles away that wasn't in your church. I don't have to give it, but I'm also a pastor. So I'm seeing. I'm agreeing.
That goes with.
Yes.
That goes. They just jump the two.
All right, so Marvin Sapp said, he said, to those unfamiliar with the church context or who may not regularly attend worship, gatherings, this has been misinterpreted as holding people hostage as well as offensive. This was never my intent. He continued to say that finances are being received in any worship gathering, and that it is one of the most vulnerable and exposed times for both the finance and the security teams. Movement during this sacred exchange can be distracting and at times even risky. He said, my directive was not about control. It was about creating a safe, focused, and reverent environment for those choosing to give and for those handling the resources.
They said the sound is kind of weird.
And Brian said it's echoing. He told us that it was echoing.
Okay, so let me see. Somebody's phone is obviously up. Did anybody turn their phone up, their volume?
Minister, they said weird. Brian said echoing.
Okay, so
Maybe the mics
I don't know.
Can y'all tell us if it's still going on? Testing.
Is the sound still sounding crazy? Y'all let us know.
I
Let
think
me know.
they can hear us because they're responding to what we're saying. Adonis is responding as well.
Is it still echoing?
Is it still echoing, you guys?
Is it still echoing? Is the sound okay? Let us know. Say, type in and say the sound is normal or is okay or is it echoing or something.
Testing.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I have multiple things to say.
Okay.
One, your intent and how it was executed are two different things.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what you intended, how you executed it defined your heart. Now, commanding and demanding is seen a lot of times and normally is like money hungry, especially if you're demanding for someone to show you on their phone that you
Okay, go ahead.
to show me that you paid it even on your phone. Yeah, it sounds like
right.
your intent did not matter. It also doesn't match up with what you said your intent was. And then also too, like the fact that like I know that there were probably people there that either they had to ask for somebody for money real quick, or their account was in a decline, or what. Like, but just the fact that you demanded that they show you on their phone, like if they didn't have cash, is just you took it too far. Like your intent did not matter.
Right. And I'm reading Adonis's, and I agree with you because I'm gonna read his and I'll come in on yours. His says distasteful, yes, but he said close the doors, not lock the doors. In my opinion, he was asking for 20 people to give whatever equal 40,000. If you can do so, you can. If you can't, you can't.
Right.
My thing was if his intent was close the doors, not lock the doors. The way he said, no, close the doors, and to someone to go and not be allowed exit is different than that. If you go to the door and the doors are closed,
Oh, somebody trying to get out.
And then
in the old church, when they say the doors of the church are closed, nobody can get out or in. If you're standing outside the church and them old black doors, and they say the doors of those, you can't get in while the pastor's speaking. You can't get in. You got to wait for a time to come in. So I guess it's meant to say close the doors now and nobody can leave until we get this. But you really can't say that in a place where you can't hold people. You can't hold people in the church.
To me, I'm gonna go back to the delivery. It goes back, and I think Mariel adequately hit on your intent and your delivery, or two different things. Because my thing is the way that the people received what was said. So, and that's why he came back and gave his explanation, because it did make such a huge topic conversation. Whether people was watching online and or physically there in the building, it came across multiple people multiple people the exact same way.
Right.
And that's why the conversation is being had behind it all. Now, do I feel like pastors and bishops and people in those positions have a right to get up there and do that? Yes, but to the point where you're not saying one or two times, but when you actually look at the video and you to deny somebody exit, that took it to a whole nother level.
And I'm
Because
also,
now you're making you're making your workers, like the people that are there to serve with you in ministry, you're making them uncomfortable at this point.
and also looking at the video and looking at the people behind Marvin Sapp and the faces that they were making on the stage, and obviously by the reaction of the congregation, the people who are coming out, and somebody saying that they weren't allowed exit. This is not something that he normally does. Now, if this was something that he normally closes the doors of the church when he has offering, that would be more understandable because that's just how he runs his service. But clearly, by the reaction of people who say they were in the service and the reaction on the faces of the people that were behind him, the clergy that was behind him, you can tell this was not something that was normal.
Right, but pastors or personalities that they feel like they have a lot of cachet. They'll push the envelope a little further than some other people will.
And want people to forgive
Right, and want people to forgive it. I have been tasked as the head deacon from being in front of the church and collecting money. I understand the dynamic and the importance of it. But he went on to say in his video, if you've watched it, which we didn't have it queued up, but he went on to say, all y'all gonna do is go home, go and eat it anyway. Y'all just gonna go to dinner and after church and eat it anyway. Like he's really shaming people into do this. First of all, this was a conference, not a church service.
Right.
Oh, so in his church?
So no, it wasn't his church. So now I don't mind raising money, but I know that I've been to a conference before. You pay to go to a conference.
Absolutely.
So if you have a money raising thing, selling tickets for the conference is a lot of times to get the money for whatever you build a new building or do whatever. So I know that if people were there who paid tickets, there was some money collected.
If that was the case for this,
right.
We don't know that.
Right. So telling me I need to know what we're raising $40,000 for, which I never heard him articulate. I watched this and I'm like, so then he referenced a verse in the Bible. I don't know if it was Colossians.
Hold on, let me go see.
Where the priest asked for additional money. It was King David asked for additional money because Solomon had just taken over as king, and he was raising additional money to build a new temple. And the people gave in gold, they gave in all these ways they gave.
But he asked.
But at least they knew that they were building a new temple. Like they knew what the money was going for. Just raising $40,000 because we got it. Like I know y'all got it, and you're 102. Yeah.
Even in that example of the scripture, the people gave in ways, but the people was not badgered to give. The people just gave out of open heart. So that's the difference here. It's like, I feel like, and you already hit on this, but I feel like at some point condemnation came in. And I feel like when the condemnation set in, that's when the whole uproar of what was done became this thing that it is now. Because you're making people feel bad. I know people that have literally left ministries for this very same reason, because they feel like, and don't get me wrong, giving is part of worship. I'm not saying that, because we all in this room know the importance of giving, tithing, sowing, offering. We know very well the importance of that, and we do our due diligence in trying to do so. But at the same token, I personally know a lot of people that have left ministries for this very same reason. And then these same pastors who want to get up here and say to give and for this reason, that reason, or the other, they get upset with these people that lead these ministries for the very same thing.
Right.
So, and to me, I feel like, and I don't know if it's like condemnation, coming from the pulpit to the congregation, or just self-condemnation. They're self, feel like I don't belong here because I can never meet the need of what's been asked.
And that's what people are seeing. I know if people all over the world are watching this one little soundbite, they can misconstrue it.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying they are, because I saw the whole clip, and it's like, it's still cringeworthy to me.
We should put that on the list.
But if you have old Christians there at the church, they will be mature Christians. Let's focus. Mature Christians in church. They're more easier to say, this guy right here is just a little out of order. It ain't got nothing to do with God.
Correct.
I'm gonna stay in church.
Yes.
He's just a little.
Don't blame the church.
Don't blame the church. That's a mature Christian.
Look at the mandate.
But like you saying, the new Christians that are just coming to church, new invites, new converts, whatever you want to call them, and you've already heard church is a money grab. They just want your money. They're gonna take 10 offerings and all this stuff. So you get to church, and not only have you given once, you've given twice. Some people. Now for the third time, you have someone saying, literally shame me, like, you got to come up here and show me your phone. It's like the pressure a new Christian must feel like, oh, for real, this is what
Christianity
this is. That's tough. Now there's somebody potentially like, I'm done with the church.
Yes.
The church thing is not for me. That's what this can cause.
Or not for people not to even start.
Yeah, if it was my first time,
Ryan, I'll send you the video.
Because my thing is with every church I've been to, there's a time and place to close the doors. The church we attend now, during altar calls and certain times, and they close the doors. My last church, they closed the door. They don't command to close the doors, but I do believe closing doors lightens up traffic. If a door is not open, you're not as bound to walk through it because it's closed.
Yeah, and you can't disturb the spirit. So
For
like
sure.
for like
Go
ahead. Okay. So you can't disturb the spirit at the point of the traditional closing of the doors.
Right.
Because normally when the closing of doors are for ministries, is when again altar calls. Or
When
prayer
the pastor is
time
speaking,
when the pastor is speaking, because a lot of backwards and forwards can cause interruption in the actual spirit that's moving, and that can
That's real.
that can impact a person receiving what they need to receive during that service, because there's a lot of other distraction going forward. But at the time of offering, it's going to be a whole bunch of movement anyways. People finna get up and walk around. And a lot of times, people probably feel like that's when a lot of people get up and leave. They get up and leave during those times.
Right, and I agree, like what Donna said, it's protocol to some of us at church, right? But the statement of closing the doors to hold down distraction versus nobody's leaving until we get this 40,000. That offsets that. You see what I'm saying? That means another thing. Like, we're not leaving until we get this 40,000. That takes it from just let's close the door to eliminate distraction, to something else. Like, we'll all leave at the same time when we get this money. That sends off something.
That you're gonna go eat up.
What I'm thinking is, because maybe I heard Mackenzie said this, so I also agree. Yes, I'm thinking that maybe, because sometimes people hold seeds when they haven't made the money that they were planning on making. And Marvin said, like Mackenzie said, isn't free. So he's thinking, if this seed isn't raised, we need this $40,000. I'm not getting paid. So I'm giving, because you with a Rolex on your wrist, trying to get people to raise $40,000. People are looking at that like you have a $40,000 watching wrist.
But I
mean, yes, that's true. But people are looking at that like you. Oh, these people behind me, I'm challenging you. And then at the end of the video, try to say, well, I'm going to personally give more than that. And then, not only did he tell people you're going to go eat it up, he went on to tell people that $20 ain't that much money.
Well, I'm going to say this.
He went on to say that, and that's worse than saying you're going to go eat it.
But this is why the Apostle John said that when you're in certain positions, you have to make sure that you're living the walk and walking the walk and talking the talk because you can make your witness ineffective. And this is the prime example of because of who you are, there's a higher accountability, there's a higher requirement that people are looking for from you. And because of something as simple as this, you've made it ineffective. And I know it's not necessarily in that the context that I'm saying it in, but it can still can apply because online is just been very ineffective with what he did, and they're looking at who he is.
Right.
This is the person that ministers so powerfully and anointingly, if that's even right, through worship and through song, and can preach very well and lead so many people of God. And then people, it's just the expectation, I feel, that was stole upon him by the people that kind of made it distasteful as well.
Right. And I get where Marvin was coming from to some degree. All right. Whoever is in task of taking up the offering or conjuring up the offering are supposed to compel to people to want to give by the word. The word, you read Malachi when you start talking about giving tithes. You read the word. The word does the work. But you have to compare. There's a fine line between pulling too much when it's distasteful or just giving you the word and allowing you to give. Because sometimes you need to, every now and then, you got to prod a little bit to get someone convicted enough to say, you know what, I do need to give.
Right.
But there's a very fine line between going too far. And it's not an easy job to collect money. So I want to say that for Marvin. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy place or a place that's comfortable. You're up there telling people that they can give because God said they can, and he won't ever have you begging bread, and he won't do this, and he will replenish the giver. You're saying all this stuff.
He'll bless you tenfold.
He'll bless you tenfold. He'll open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing that you won't even have room to receive it. They're saying all these things to compel, but I think that there is a fine line, Marvin, between saying nobody's leaving till we get this 40K. Because this is outside of the tithe and the offerings. This is seed. Now we're outside of your due diligence.
Yes.
Now we're at the extra place, and it's tough to stand up there and ask for that. So I'm not saying it just came across a little distasteful.
So what we're saying here is people give Marvin
give him some grace.
Give him some grace. I mean, he came out with his
The non-secretary said, "Preach, D."
He came out with some with an explanation. So we want grace to be extended to us. We want grace to be extended to us. So let's extend it to us.
Absolutely, it should be extended to everyone.
I think one bad moment shouldn't define him. I think there was a small lapse of judgment or reading the room. I think he might have misread the room, or it just might have been everybody in the room might have been in the general consensus that he was okay. We haven't heard this, and only the person recording had an issue. We don't know how many people had an issue. Maybe a very small amount of people had an issue.
It was enough to go viral.
I think to me, it was just the shock factor. Like you saying, lock the door. I mean, close the door. Close the door. All this is being
He like stopped like 4 times. Yeah,
did you hear what I said? I said,
the money wasn't a problem with me. I just get it 20 up, 40. If you need it.
I mean, if you give,
I'm a giver. I'm a mature giver. I'm giving to the cause. I'm not giving.
Right, give to the
Lord.
Lord.
Whatever you need it for, I'm gonna help you get that.
But you can give the 20.
Right.
What about the people that
literally cannot.
I'm not saying it was the amount. I just said it was the
other 40?
I'm just saying it was the shock. It was the shock of closing the door. It don't matter how much I had. I could have 1,000 of you. You're just telling me to.
And even to the point of what if you don't have the 20 to give, but if you give in what you have out of the heart of the 20, you're still gonna be blessed. And those are the things like God look at the heart, like the lady who gave the penny or gave all her last.
Right.
God is going to bless that. So yeah, he put a mandate or a price there, but I feel like if the person would like to the statement of what if you don't have to give, if you just gave what you had, that still would have been blessed as well.
Yeah, I think that I was trying to make the point of like, if I only had $21 in my account and you were trying to force me to give it, I would not want to give it.
Right.
And I would not.
The normal person ain't
Right,
gonna
that's
give
what I'm
it.
saying. Yeah, like, I would not give that. So, but
Because you would end up giving
Yeah.
begrudgingly, and to have
Right.
somebody stand in your face and tell me all you're gonna do is eat it up anyway after
So
church.
that's
Or
what
it
kind of
ain't
thing
like-
that-
that's
I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
I was gonna say, I got 3 kids
I
and
gotta
they
have
need
something
to
to eat
get
after
Oh,
church.
we did this conference 4 hours.
That is
It
something.
started at 11. It's
And-
4.
And I'm a church guy. But that's something that if I'm thinking the give will pull me right out the spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I will go from thinking, let me see how much I can give to hold on now. Hold on, what now? I gotta eat. It'll take me
I
out.
was saying, my
It'll
kids got it.
take me out. Close the doors. Don't let nobody go until this. And now I'm not even thinking about giving. I'm thinking about if I walk back there,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna beat the brakes off one of the others. So you can fool people. No, I'm just saying.
Like for real.
There's certain things going that can pull you out of the spirit.
Right. That's what it was.
It might not even been the money. I could just had to go pee. But now I can't even do that. I'm going.
Yeah.
If he said it was gonna be a
But
blow.
we
Yeah.
just said esteemed grace and we rehashing it. So we
Yeah.
Wait, okay, we are extending grace, but let's
We
go
are.
into some of the funny things that the people have been putting online.
Mhm.
Never would have paid it. Or they said, you all the worst to me.
I'm telling you, bro. It would have been so bad.
Yeah.
I just can imagine. I can't imagine myself. going
I
to the
knew
door.
he would. Yeah. If he
Excuse
was
me,
there,
excuse
oh,
me.
he would be. so
Excuse
mad.
me, and then I'm trying to.
He'd be like,
excuse
Mario,
me.
you need to take cover right now.
I'm just saying, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, Adonis told me, he said, calm down, D.
But-
Adonis, you're right.
But you're right,
I'm gonna take
though.
it down.
But it's the
Because
food.
I am a mature Christian, I understand. If you've been to a black church,
Yeah.
for the people that are out there that's trying to, you've been around some churches that are trying to raise some money. Either it's for the stained glass windows, it's either for the air conditioner need to be fixed, it's for new church fans.
That's why I thought they called
It's
them church
for,
fans.
no matter what it is, we've all been there, and this is not abnormal in,
Right.
in the normal sense of it.
Yeah.
It was just to close the doors and nobody leave until I get the 40K.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's the amount of money that's eye-opening, but it was a big crowd. But for the normal people who just saw the tape, it's the amount of money they was asking for it, how he asked for it, and then the kind of guilt trip, the guilting into giving it was the issue.
We've been there in
It's
the
y'all.
church in Georgia.
But wait, it's them being stuck on the food part for me. I'm stuck on the $20 ain't that much money. How you gonna
So
tell?
who? Yeah,
Is that
He said back then, $20 is enough.
yeah. You're a national platinum recording artist, or at least gold. So you may have it,
He's
and
fine.
Howard Brown might not.
Right.
Yeah, your song still making money now. Like,
I'm still listening to Martha South.
Me too.
of course.
Me too.
We're not canceling Martha South.
You're not canceling.
Right?
Absolutely.
It was
not.
just a shock.
And we just we just shocked.
Don't just talk about some y'all better hold that church lady finger up. They will let you pass.
And you know the church will tell you to walk out, you need a bid. Excuse me.
And you got to.
I'm telling you.
That finger make you invisible.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
The finger is an invisible cloak. That makes you invisible. When you put the finger up.
Yeah, you look. Oh, they good. Maybe they gotta go. You gotta go. You don't have their fingers up.
Yeah. All right, so I think we've covered
No,
Martha.
we know.
We did.
But it was just kind of off-putting. It just kind of was. Yeah, but okay.
Go back. Come back.
All right.
All right, I had it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is being bilingual, is that more important than we think? Can I have a conversation?
Yes, I think so.
100%.
Does that really mean something?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I think
Yes.
so.
Like having Spanish classes and
I
French
think so.
classes in school.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an elective anyways now, so I mean,
What's the
Do
left?
you think that should be like mandatory because of all the different cultures? I mean, Hispanic is probably the second biggest
Spanish.
culture.
You talking about
Wow.
language?
Well,
Spanish.
I think you should learn the language of where you're going.
Yeah, but I'm just saying to make, I guess, America,
great again.
no,
She took it far.
to make it more like
Guys.
our communication better. Maybe
but I know how much Japan is paying Americans to come over who know the language. They're paying jobs like if you go over in a regular customer service job that you might make $25,000-$30,000 here. That's $100,000 job in Japan because they need people who can come over and speak fluent American. So they're paying people to come to their country who can teach and give their country some different culture. It's about diversifying your country and just not having it Japanese. So,
but I feel like yes, I feel like it is an advantage to be bilingual. But I can tell you, like a lot of companies, unless you market yourself, they're not going to pay you for being bilingual.
Right.
They're going to pay you for the position that they're hiring for. But I definitely feel like there is an advantage to being bilingual. I actually want to start back taking Spanish classes.
So I'm gonna start.
I took Spanish in
Our neighbor.
my 11th and my 12th grade
I'm gonna learn that.
and my first semester in college.
I took French.
I had a 40 in Spanish.
I
got kicked out of Spanish.
I was in the national
I
honor
wouldn't
corps
tell.
since
I got kicked out of Spanish in 6th grade.
I feel good about it.
right. So Brian did have a comment. Just one last title, and he said so. He went and watched the snippet of that Marvin Sapp. I understand what he was saying, and I understand what he did, and I understand what went down. No, he never told them to lock the door to the house for safety reasons. Like he stated, we have no way of knowing how many people were in the congregation. We do because that did come up. But he said at least 1,000 of you guys give 20, perhaps 1,000 that online can give 20. Overall, that wasn't much to give, making $40,000 with 2,000 people give him $20 a piece. So
that was 2 in-house and 2 online.
Yeah, so we understand what he meant. It was a delivery, Brian, that when people tried to leave and they were literally blocked by the ushers, that's a felony. You can't block anybody from going where they want to go, even in church. So we do understand we wanted the ushers not to let anybody out because it's a what kind of time? Sacred time, and one of those kind of times that. Yeah, so we understand what he was going for. His delivery was just questionable.
Yeah, and I want to go back to because Brian said this in his thing. We can't tell someone in their finances that $20 is not a lot of money.
Thank you, Morgan.
Like to you, it's not a lot of money. To me, it's not a lot of money. To somebody, it may very well be a lot of money. At the time, it may be a lot of money for them. It may not always be a lot of money for them. You might see them with Jordans next week. Maybe they are paid. But at the time, it may have been a lot of money to them. So we can't tell somebody.
Yeah, don't read
what's a lot of money.
Don't read my pockets. You don't know what's hard for me and what's not. You don't know how my bills go. You don't know what I got to do, how much money,
For real, though, no.
He said, well, hell, when I was in jail and I tried to walk out, they blocked my way.
Yeah, but that's because you were in jail. That's the intent. We don't want you back out until it's time to get out. That's kind of one of the things. That's kind of tough, bro. You kind of set yourself up for that one.
Okay, see why I did that?
We forgot to say that Kirk Franklin posted a picture with Marvin Sapp in the picture, and his caption was "Unlock the doors." And Lecrae got under the post and said, "If y'all in the Atlanta area, he named 3 churches and said they don't lock you in the church. They offer and the pastors are doing them."
Lecrae
all the pastors last 2 Sundays have been saying that.
And he said, but you gotta remember, if those people paid to go to the conference, then $20 is a lot of money. Then $20 is a lot of money.
Some people probably ain't last to that.
But maybe they didn't pay. We have no proof.
Or what if somebody paid for them? Like, to put them there.
That's why they have paid, but they may not have paid.
But we all the way back in it, y'all.
Yeah.
I'll say we have scholarships.
You're making a lot of
going to
assumptions that it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. So what's not?
I wish it went a lot of money to me.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It all depends on what journey you are in life on whether that 20 is a lot.
That's half a tank of gas now.
I was saying
a little under half if you're being for real.
I just think we sometimes as Christians are our worst enemy. And I think that for the unchurched, for the people who are trying to find a reason to believe in what you believe in God, for the people who have been worldly for their whole lives, it's tough to cross that line and to run into something like that. It's tough. I'm just saying that you got to go back to when you was a new convert, not where you are now. If you coming from your now state and you're a mature Christian, you'll see things differently. But we're not talking from this because we know we're going to stay in church. That's not enough to get us out of church.
Yeah. And we've done it. We've given it 2 times, 3 times.
I've had a pastor tell me, or whoever it was, Marlon, you need to go get $100 up and tell them right now if you're going to have it. Go to the ATM and come back. I've had this happen to me. And come back. Go right now. We'll wait for you. Go to the ATM. God has the message for you.
At the ATM is
you're supposed to get it. Go to the ATM. And literally, I'm in a city that I'm not even familiar with. I gotta go find
Shut up.
an ATM.
Stop.
Get
Okay.
money and go back to the church because God said I'm supposed to get this money. So hey, bro. Okay. I digress.
He said, and he said, yeah, you're absolutely right. $20 can be a lot to some people, and considering their journey in life, that's a note well taken. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Because
I digress.
He's digressing,
and
we gonna keep
and we're gonna move on.
Now, what we saying?
Mackenzie had the next topic
about
bilingual.
Yeah, we don't skip all over that.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I think it adds value to you. But being bilingual does add value. Yeah.
More marketable.
Well,
honestly,
the more people you can communicate to, the better.
So why did you ask that?
we were just talking about school, and then it was a younger guy talking about work. Like,
Marcus.
I was like, yeah. Did it mean something to you?
Dion said, did you go to the ATM?
Yeah, Dion. Did I go to the ATM?
No. Did you? Yes, you did. Yes, he did. He did, Dion. He went.
Dion.
And he gave the $100.
Dion, I went.
What was the word?
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Dion.
Marianne said, what's the word?
I went to the ATM.
She was serious about
And
did you get your
and I might go again if I felt like my breakthrough was attached to my giving.
Okay.
And I'm just saying that's for the people who believe.
Deacon Marlon.
Because even if I think it was wild for them to say, if I felt like I could give my way out of where I'm giving, because I have gave my way out of my position before, my situation. If I felt like that, because I have that much faith, if I felt like that would be what unlock. God says, like He told the man, give away all your possessions and go through. Then you can obtain the kingdom of heaven. And when the other guy walked away, I feel like $100 wasn't that much for my blessing. So,
and I got something to say too, because a lot of times when a word is given, and if you agree with that word, that's your faith. So, and going back to what Pastor Mike preached on, saying, you put your faith in God. So because you're putting your faith in that word, that is going to unlock your blessing. So you have to connect with that. You have to connect with that word.
That's why I'm married to her.
Anyways, Brian said, well, I have a vision from God. He said, all y'all give me $40 and He got a message for you.
We don't connect with that word.
I mean, I need $4.
We'll just give it to you.
That's it. I would.
Mackenzie, but your little cousin said they got you.
Younger cousin.
And Dion said, how do you say I don't got it in Spanish?
money.
No dinero.
No.
Because when you look at Family Guy.
No.
Yeah, more lemon
You
please.
need more lemon pledge. I don't know. All right.
That was a good one. And remember, guys, don't be chuggy.
Be proud of your days.
And if before you go get on all these medications, go talk to a granola or a crunchy mom. She might have something holistic to give you, something natural to give you that it will supplement.
You know what? Those people used to be hippie. Granola is kind of a crunchy.
Crunchy sound like an STD.
It just sounds like something's off. It's something
Like
like
crabs or something.
Girl got a crunch.
Y'all heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
On my term, my truth. The new terminology. If you got that whatever, you got that crunch.
Oh, God.
All right, we love y'all. It has
Don't
been
forget,
real.
my dad taught me. How can a man rob God?
How can a man rob God? With your tithes and offering.
It just said time over. Malachi 3:8.
Oh man.
We call y'all. Have a good night. We love y'all.
We love y'all. We're